Hey kids, it's Mr. Fly here, hope you're well. Now, bit of an odd bonus video this for you. It was going to be what you're about to see, part of one of my twits of this week's In the Saddle type episode. But it's turned out that's not going to be the case. Anyway, we've got a bit of a problem that we're trying to solve. Stick around, stay tuned, we'll tell you all about it.
So folks, you join me on the mighty GS on this lovely warm late spring day, just mulling over a bit of a dilemma. I'm on the horns of a dilemma. I've got Mrs. Fly on the back of the bike, by the way. She's just having a chat on the phone to somebody else at the moment. But the dilemma we're mulling over, and the reason we've come out on the GS2 up, is because, as you may remember if you've watched my channel before, I'm trying to find ways to thin out my fleet of bikes. Now this is very much a first world dilemma, and I'm not expecting any sympathy here, so that goes as read. But I've got my Honda Goldwing and I've got this bike, my beloved GS 1200, both of which really are used for touring purposes. And what I really want to do is save some space in the garage, because they obviously take up a bit of space in the garage, and also they're, you know, expensive things both to keep on the road, serviced, MOT, taxed, insured, all that stuff. So what I'd like to do really is get rid of one of the bikes. But the dilemma is which one do I get rid of, because I absolutely love both bikes. So it's a tricky one. So I was having a chat to Mrs. Fly about it, and she was saying, actually, do you know what, I don't think I've ever toured on this GS. I just assumed she had, but she's been on plenty of tours on GS's, but they've always been on rented ones. So for example, when we went to Portugal, that was on a Tour Adventure GS 1250. When we went to Alaska and the Pacific Northwest, that was on a rented 1250. So yeah, of course she's been on the back of this bike, but not on any significant tours, so that was quite interesting. And then we couldn't remember the last time even that she went on the back, and actually thinking about it, it was when we went to the Ace Cafe back end of last year with our friends. We also went up into London on it, went to the bike shed. But she hasn't been on it since then. We did of course do our big, hello sir, our big European tour last year, which we did on the Goldwing. Blimey, loads of bikes out today. Hello sir. And we absolutely loved that, and I really gelled with the Goldwing. So it's all very tricky. See, the problem I've got is I've had this bike for, what, 12 years, something like that? It's a 2014 model year, but I bought it Christmas 2013, so yeah, 12 years-ish, or 11 and a half years I've had it. It really is the bike that grew my channel, and I still absolutely love it. But I'm not sure I've got a use for it anymore, because if we go touring 2 up, then we got the Wing, which is just fantastic for that. It's just a little bit more spacious, a little bit more comfortable. Not that this isn't comfortable by any means. Anyway, what we thought we'd do is come out, have a ride for a good few hours, and just see if we can compare this to the Goldwing in our minds as to which one we would want to keep for a touring vehicle. Because maybe we sell the Goldwing, because again we don't use it very much, we only use it maybe once or twice a year for when we go on tours, and then I'll keep this because this is my great sort of winter bike, and also it's a brilliant all-rounder. If you're just going to have one bike, then the GS is absolutely perfect for that. Or do we say, well actually, you know what, the Wing, a bit more comfortable, a bit more special perhaps, a bit rarer, perhaps we keep that and we make a bit of space in the garage by selling this. Anyway, so that's what today's Horns of the Dilemma is all about. We're riding out into Oxfordshire and beyond, maybe the Cotswolds. We'll do a good few hours, and then we'll have a little sit down and sort of sum up our thinking on which bike we think should go. It's going to be a tricky one, because I don't want to see either bike go. You know what it's like when you're selling old friends. Tricky. Anyway, we'll catch up with you a bit later with our thoughts. So wind on 3/4 of an hour and you find us just south of Oxford. In fact, we're just about to pass Abingdon, I can't remember the name of the dealer now that's down here, the motorcycle dealer, but they're Ducati, Honda, etc. dealer, and there's a Harley Davidson place as well. I haven't been down here for ages. As we're passing, I think I might just pop in, and also, in an odd bit of serendipity, it's the dealer that I first rode a Goldwing at. So when we're considering Goldwing versus GS, this was the first place I ever rode a Goldwing, and within 50 yards of it I thought, you know what, this is the best bike I've ever ridden. I remember thinking that, and that video's still up on the channel. I'll see if I can put a link to that. Anyway, just going to pop in and see what's new. Alright, here we are coming up to what I've just remembered is called Blade. It's Blade Honda and Blade Ducati, I think. Anyway, are they open on a Saturday? Let's have a look.
Right, so here we are at Blade Honda and Ducati. Anyway, the most important thing is, Cal, so far, how have you found being back on the GS then?
But yeah, it's good. It's difficult, isn't it? It's not the wing for comfort. I've been spoilt thoroughly.
I have to say, I have enjoyed the ride down here. It is a more fun bike to ride than the wing. It's more engaging, that's for sure. But it ain't quite as comfortable for me either, or for my shoulder.
Yeah, for me, it's higher for me, so it's harder to get on and off.
Anyway, we're going to have a quick look around these dealerships, see if there's anything that takes our fancy. And then...
you mean you?
Yeah.
Takes
well,
your...
you never know, it might be something that takes your fancy. And then we'll have a little bit of more of a ride, and then we'll sum up our thoughts over a bit of lunch or after some lunch or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, what a beautiful day.
Gorgeous.
Right, let's go do some window shopping. That looks better in the flesh than I thought. It's the new Panigale V2. I've not seen one. It's kind of the bike that succeeded, well, a few bikes later, my old 899 Panigale. And I didn't think I liked the look of it, but now having seen it in the flesh, I have to say it's quite lovely. What do you think, Carol? Like it?
Yeah. Not for me, though.
No, it'll be uncomfortable, but I do like those under-seat exhausts. You like the Desert X in the red, you reckon?
Yes.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? Didn't like the bike so much when I rode it though, unfortunately. Oh, here's the new V4 Street Fighter, complete with wings. Haven't seen this in the flesh before either. What a beast. The full fat Panigale, and that looks pretty scary, doesn't it? The Monster SP, a bike I really liked when I borrowed that. That's something that's definitely on the list of possible future purchases. Yeah, that is a big old beast. Looks quite nice in the sand colour though, doesn't it? Don't you think?
No, it's alright.
It's alright. Look at that, 9,795. What an absolute bargain. It's a lot of bike for that. Obviously second hand. Yeah, there's some good second-hand bargains to be had here. If you fancy an older multistrada, quite a choice.
Well, we've ridden on for another hour or so. We're now heading, well, we're in the Cotswolds really, quite near Lechlade here, and this is where the better roads are. We've had some absolutely cracking bits of riding around here. Haven't filmed it, but this is more like it, isn't it? Anyway, we're still looking for lunch. It's 21 degrees when we're recording this. The temperature's absolutely perfect for riding. Just got a t-shirt on under my rucker. I've got all my vents open. Feels great.
So we found a lovely spot for our lunch. It's called Buscott Tea Rooms, but I just want to show you what we've done with the helmets. Check this out. Bit of light lot action. Not exactly the neatest ever, but it saves us carrying our helmets. So lunch has arrived, and once again I've gone for a healthy option compared to Mrs. Flower anyway. It's alright, isn't it?
Yeah, can't beat olives and feta.
Well, sausage and onions I think is probably a beat.
No.
Right, so while we were having our excellent lunch at the tea room there, we had a bit of a debate, made a few notes, and just about our little dilemma, GS versus Goldwing. And we haven't come to any solid conclusions yet, so we should ride a bit more, have another little think, and then we'll talk you through the sort of pros and cons of each and see what conclusions we can reach.
Okay, so we've made it back to the garage after a day on the bike, which was pretty representative of a day's touring. We left about 10:10.
Yeah.
We got home now, it's about 6 o'clock. We've done 140 miles. We've stopped for coffee and lunch and stuff like that. So fairly representative of a day's touring, don't you think?
Yeah, give or take.
And what have we learnt about the GS versus the Wing, and which one should we let go?
Well, the GS has lots of strengths. You were saying, Andy was saying, at low speed, particularly manoeuvrability.
There's no doubt at low speeds the GS is easier to handle than the big Wing.
Yeah.
They're both fantastic touring bikes, and we need a touring bike, don't we?
Yeah.
We did get in a situation today on the GS where we parked in a grass car park and we said we couldn't do that on the Wing, didn't we?
Yes, that's just too big.
But we also both agreed that the Wing is
more comfortable overall.
Yeah.
It's lower, it's actually easier for me to get on and off, which is quite a big thing.
And given we need a touring bike, and for me the big things about touring bikes are comfort and carrying capacity.
Yeah.
We also think we can carry more on the wing. We've proven we can. We did that European tour for 2 weeks with just using the wing. So we've reluctantly come to a conclusion which I thought I would never come to, which is
that we will be saying goodbye to the GS.
Not sure will be, but we're thinking of saying goodbye to the GS, which is a bit of a bombshell.
Yeah.
All right, so let's not get carried away, folks. Now, it was a few days ago when we went out and did that trip, and we came to that little conclusion that the GS is the bike that's got to go. But since then, we've each slept on it, thought about it, discussed it a bit more, and we've actually changed our minds. You know what? We're now thinking that the next few big tours that we want to do are actually probably more suited to the GS than the Goldwing is. Because they're the sorts of tours, places like Scotland, places like Ireland, the West Coast run in Ireland and stuff, that are probably more suitable to take bikes like the GS rather than the Goldwing. So we've come to the conclusion that actually the bike that should go is the mighty Goldwing, which is incredible because we really gel with that on our European tour. And it isn't just me saying this because I'm a fan of my GS. This is something that me and Mrs. Flyer have agreed on. It's just she's out at the moment, so couldn't join me in this bit of the video. So what we're thinking at the moment is the bike that needs to go is the Goldwing. We've been Goldwing owners now for 5 years? We've had an absolute blast on it. It is an absolutely incredible machine. There is no better long distance touring machine. I was convinced of it when I bought it, and I'm convinced of it today. But if we haven't got any long distance tours planned for the next couple of years that are suitable for that bike, it's pointless. That bike's being sat here for 2 years, effectively not being used. So that's the one that we decided we're going to sell. So we're kind of thinking about how best to do that, whether it's trading in against something else, whether it's getting a dealership to sell it for us, or whether to sell it privately. Needless to say, if you are interested in a lightly used Goldwing, which is in immaculate condition, and all its history is here on the internet, then get in touch via thebistonflyer@gmail.com, and maybe we can do a little deal. But yeah, I think it's going to be the Goldwing that's going, so I'll keep you posted on how that goes. So, sad times indeed when you decide to let an old friend go, but I know from the past when I've sold bikes in the past, cars, and indeed when I recently sold my Speed Twin, once they're gone, you don't really give them a second thought. So maybe it's not a bad thing. It does make logical sense, so we probably will be saying goodbye to the Honda Goldwing. So a bit of a bombshell to end this little dilemma video on. Anyway, hope you found that of some interest. Interested in your comments below as ever, and I look forward to speaking to you next time. Until then, this has been the Mr. Flyer. Cheerio.